These things are true. The world is dark, and they have arrived. But the candles will keep them at bay.
Outside, it is raining.
The house is colder than it should be.
The chandelier keeps moving.
These things are true. The world is dark.
And we are alive.
And we are alive.
Where are you when the chandelier is moving?
Iris is kind of off, not in a full corner, but not in the center of everything, though she's loud enough to think that she is. Kind of trying to hold court with some of the younger folk at the party, and make herself seem important and kind of pretending to reach into the beyond for them.
Evelyn is standing at the mantel, adjusting the clock. Her pocket watch is correct, and she needs everything to be perfect.
Lizzie is standing a little to the side of the mantel, trying to stay warm by the fire. She has a glass of wine in her hand. Her eyes don't move away from the fire very much.
You're pretty sure there was supposed to be a party. You're pretty sure there was supposed to be a fire. You're pretty sure the clock was working. But as you blink, the three of you stand in silence. Besides for the rain that hits the windows and a small creaking as you look up and you see the chandelier just moving above you.
I must say, Lady Williams, it's rather devoid of life in here at the moment. Where's the party, the music, the people?
Evelyn looks around, confused and surprised, and says, "That is a wonderful question, Ms. Vey. I could have sworn tonight was the night."
Well, I wouldn't be here if there weren't a party. I don't think I would be allowed past your gates and your dashing gatekeepers if something wasn't happening tonight. Where have you hidden them? Come on, bring them out. Hello? Partygoers! At your will, I will reach into the beyond and see your life and the lives you've lived before. Come out, so that you may know your purpose and your destiny.
I look over at Lizzie and say, "Girl, I thought I told you to get everything prepared for tonight. What happened again?"
I'm sorry, madam. I sent out the invites. I asked the cook to prepare. Is there food? If there's at least that, then at least I know I did that. I don't think I'm losing time again. I'm so sorry.
If you want something done right, you must do it yourself.
I spent hours.
She abruptly closes the front of the clock. Is there exits to this room, or has everything kind of closed off?
There are exits.
Evelyn then will move in the direction of the kitchens and shout for anyone. In fact, she doesn't shout. She snaps. Because ladies don't shout.
Okay, I would like for you to make your first roll.
So I can roll as many as I want, but any ones go away.
Correct.
That is 1/1 that goes away, but my highest is a 6.
Is it just 1/6?
Just 1 6.
Okay.
6 3 4.
Yeah, you snap. You hear the snap echo. And for a moment, it's just quiet. You hear the rain pattering against the window. You're about to shout, and then you hear clanking coming from the kitchen. Sounds like pots being set down, perhaps.
Would help is so hard to find. And she will make her way down the hallway.
The madam is very demanding.
Just clear. Jeez. Specific, isn't she?
I did send out those invitations.
Of course you
spent
did. I
hours
got
on the
one.
calligraphy. Yes, thank you. It wasn't okay.
Wait, I'm seeing something. And Iris is gonna put a hand on your shoulder, Lizzie. Yes. Red hair. Curling softly past a cheek. Green eyes. Warmth. Your mother? Could it be?
Oh, I do not know.
Oh, that's right.
I'm afraid I don't remember her.
I've misspoken. I'm so sorry. Yes. Yes, just a woman, maybe a lover in a past life or a future life. Who's to say? Iris is kind of gonna like get big eyes and be like, oh, I fucked up, and kind of like walk away from Lizzie again.
Lizzie would have stared at her hand as it was sitting on it, and then once it was taken off, she would have like relaxed slightly and just taken a sip of her wine. Perhaps. Or perhaps it's one of the party guests that I was supposed to invite.
You did invite. Don't let her make you think you've done something you haven't. You've done marvelously. It's just the way the universe works sometimes, don't you see? Sometimes they don't want you to be doing the things you're doing, so they have to obfuscate and cause problems.
It didn't want us to have a party?
No. This is destiny. This is where we were meant to be. Oh, if I had my bag of my runes! My runes! I've left them at home! Oh, it would be marvelous to know we could cast the bones and find out what's happening. But I've left them at home. They're no help us here.
Honestly, me and Destiny would get along quite well. I, too, am not a huge fan of parties.
We can fix that. We'll find you a good party. Lizzie, I've been here, 3-4 times now? We've had conversations. I just want you to have a life, you know? I think the lady of the house is a little bit, you know? She's just...
The lady has been very generous.
Of course. She's generous and giving and a kind soul, but you deserve more than just that, you know? She took you in, it was her choice. But, you know, you could live a little... I could take you some great taverns. Just say the word and we'll go.
I've read about those. They seem very dirty.
Oh, absolutely filthy. There's gunk and funk and humanness everywhere. It's delicious. Not to lick. Don't lick the tables. I've seen someone do it and they regretted it instantly. I mean more delicious in like a soul-satisfying kind of a way.
I shall keep that in mind. Don't lick the tables.
Don't lick the tables. Oh, you're so smart. You're doing so great. Oh, all right. Shall we find these cooks?
Yes. I need more wine.
Iris is gonna just start running after Evelyn.
Incredible.
Lizzie will follow with a very rigid gait.
Evelyn, with your success, once you reach the kitchens, what happens?
Evelyn steps into the kitchen, expecting to see her chefs, her servers, her butler overseeing everything. And despite hearing the clatter down the hallway, it is pristine, as if nary a potato has been peeled in days. And she simply stops at the doorway and looks inside. And Evelyn is not the kind of woman that shocks easily, nor is she one that has found herself speechless in most of her life. But in this moment, she's both.
And not long after, Iris and Lizzie are coming down the hall as well.
Iris will burst through the doors. Good cooks of this fine establishment. It's not an establishment, it's a home. It's a home of this fine home. Lend us your... Oh, it's empty.
Yes, it appears that we've lost something somehow.
With that sentence, I would love for one of you to make a roll, please.
I'll do it. I've got the gumption.
9 dice.
So we've got 9. We can roll any amount of 9.
Yes.
I will roll 4. Is that too many? I don't know. We've lost one. My highest is a 3. Iris is busy just like touching like the cooking pot and like the pantry and just like trying to commune like no one's been here for moments, maybe hours, perhaps days, could be more, could be less. This pot, it's cold, nothing's been cooked.
Somehow you've made a character that is a combination of Tahani from The Good Place and the ghost hunter from Grave Encounters.
Honestly, an incredible combination that I'm proud of that I didn't mean to make. Wow. Good job, me.
Incredible.
So as
time.
As Evelyn says, it appears we've lost something. And Iris, you're running your hands along the pots and the pans. Eventually your hand, you're realizing, is covered in dust.
Lady, I don't mean to cast aspersions on your housekeeping, because Lord knows I haven't housekeeping of my own, but do they generally leave great gobs of dust everywhere?
Oh dear.
This is highly irregular, and I will be speaking to Nathaniel at my first convenience. I do apologize. Ms. Vey, this is not how our home is usually at its best representation.
Quite humanizing, in fact. I don't mind it.
I was just in this room earlier this morning to help with breakfast. There was no dust. That is a lot of dust to accumulate that quickly.
Quite. Evelyn runs a finger along the counter. Does she also get the same?
Yes.
I see. Perhaps we make do, if it is but the 3 of us. I'm sure they've left something. It's... It would be terrible of me as a host, Ms. Vey, to let you go hungry. Lizzie, please fashion something. Anything. For our guest.
Yes, madam.
Lizzie, I would like for you to make a roll, please.
Sure.
We're at 8 now?
8, yes. Oh, yeah, I was gonna keep up with that, and I didn't.
I am using 5 dice. So I got 2 6s, but we lost 2.
Oof.
2 6s.
The
2
dice
ones.
giveth and the dice taketh away.
Okay, in that case, I'm going to message you something, and you can decide, since you did get successes for this, you can decide how the scene plays out.
Lizzie steps forward and starts looking around to gather things to cook with, only they are not where she would expect them to be. And so she's looking, and her gaze drifts up. The pots and pans are on the ceiling, looking as if they could fall at any moment. Lizzie looks at Evelyn and very slowly points up.
Evelyn follows the finger up and just, for the second time, perhaps in her life, is shocked and speechless. She steps back into the hallway as to avoid being hit on the head with some kind of falling kitchen implement.
Lizzie will reach out and tug Iris, who seems a little enthralled and looking up, and just kind of tugs her backward as well.
My lady, might I speak with the spirits in your house and just see what might come of this? This is incredible. I've never seen physical manifestation of things like this.
By all means, perhaps ask them where they've put my staff. This is highly irregular, and I do not appreciate the shenanigans on a night such as this.
Kerri, can I try to talk to the spirits in this house?
Yes, please make a roll.
I was like, yeah, that makes sense to ask, for sure.
We have a dice pool of 6.
All right, I'm gonna use 3. 2 6s. We didn't lose any boys. This is what I'm good at, according to the dice.
Yeah, how do you do this? What does this look like as they're watching?
For the first time, Iris is trying to be genuine and kind of closes her eyes and stands in the doorway as way of portal, and puts her hands on either side. Spirits of the Williams home, please explain what in the world is going on with the pots up on the ceiling. That's quite impressive, honestly, and I'm absolutely enthralled by it, but that's not really the point of this conversation. More to the point, where have the staff gone? Where have the party members gone? Where is everyone? Why are only the 3 of us left? That's quite a few questions. Please feel free to answer any and all of them. And take my energy for what you need.
There are a couple of moments of silence. During that silence, what are Lizzie and Evelyn's reactions to this?
Lizzie kind of leans over and whispers to Evelyn, How do you know her again? She doesn't seem like your usual cohort.
Evelyn purses her lips and says, Lord Taylor asked me to include her on the list. She's very good at entertaining at parties and supposedly very fashionable. Supposedly.
She wants me to go to a tavern.
Lizzie, we've talked about this before. Those places are below us. Do you understand?
Yes, madam. She mentioned something about not licking the tables. It doesn't sound very sanitary.
I suspect doing most things in a place like that would be quite unsanitary. I don't think I'd feel comfortable touching a doorknob there.
As you guys are having this conversation, a gasp echoes out of Iris. Hello. Madam, they're asking for entrance, and they want to know my name. Do you feel comfortable with me allowing them in?
If it gets us the answers we need, then by all means. But entrance to you, not to me. Not
Yes.
Lizzie, of course.
Hello, spirits. Thank you for answering me. It's always a rush, honestly. It's really, I feel like I'm in celebrity. I'm Iris. And you may enter. Not the lady of the house.
As soon as you say
nor
you
her
may
lord.
enter, every pot and pan falls from the ceiling and drowns out any remaining words you may have had as you hear it, the pots like spinning and clanking all against each other. It's loud and it echoes almost louder.
My goodness. Is it always so disruptive? Miss Faye?
Rarely, in fact. This is quite an anomaly. I'm fascinated and I can't wait to rub it in. That's not a word to use around you. In dear Marigold's face. That well, it's physical manifestation. She didn't. And Iris starts just like going from pot to pot and like touching the pot and thanking it for its part in the evening.
That seems a good way to get a head injury.
At least they're on the floor now. Rather than elsewhere.
I suppose it's better that it was the pots and the pans and not the cutlery. Imagine if we had knives spinning about.
Right.
You hear the knife
Better
drawer
that than...
open.
Oh.
That was not an invitation for you to do as you please with the cutlery. Miss Lizzie was simply stating a fact. You may not take all of these as open invitations. I will tell you what you are invited to do. And Iris is taking this new communicator mode in stride.
My apologies, I didn't mean to give them ideas.
Oh, darling, it's nothing of you. Some spirits are tricksy and curious and downright rude at times. That's not your fault.
Well, if they're looking for something to do, since our staff seems to have disappeared, if they're so inclined to fool around in the kitchen, we could definitely use some food.
Dear spirits! Hello! Oh, talking to you every time gives me quite the shiver. Oh, all right. Well, if you're bored and you want something to do, we're quite hungry. Wouldn't say no to a bit of nosh. It's impossible to leave right now because the streets are a swamp. So we're stuck here together. You may take part in any of the meal that you're interested in. But also, would you please feed us? Please.
Is it usually like this, Miss Faye?
If I'm being honest, I'm fully flying by the seat of my skirt. No clue what I'm usually I have a very good idea of what I'm doing, who I'm talking to, what all's happening. At this particular juncture, I'm a little lost. Don't worry. I've got it all under control. I've had conversations with spirits my entire life. This is normal. Sometimes they hide, obfuscate their identities for the sake of theatre and entertainment. This is nothing out of the ordinary. Lying through her teeth.
Right. Perhaps we leave the room and leave them to it. Perhaps they're shy, as you said.
Privacy to carry out their meal preparations. Wise, incredibly so.
Truthfully, I'm a little cold. I think I would like to go to my chambers to grab a shawl or something.
Fetch me one as well.
Yes, of course, madam.
Are you in need of anything, Miss Vey, that we can acquire for you?
Oh, it is a mite chilly. A blanket wouldn't go off, just something to put over my shoulders. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Evelyn will turn on her heel and walk back into the room with the chandelier and assume that Lizzie is taking care of it.
Lizzie indeed goes up to the staircase and
Make a dice roll for me, Lizzie.
Oh, of course. I'd be happy to. We've got what, 6? Okay, I'll do 3. That is 1 6. No ones.
Okay. Carry on.
Okay. Lizzie walks up the staircase in the direction of her chambers. The hallway to her chambers is pretty long. She's towards the end of it. And she goes in, goes to her wardrobe, and finds a shawl for herself. Grabs a blanket out of the bottom of the wardrobe, kind of has a few stacked together for whenever it's a little extra cold. So it's an old quilt. And she grabs it and then walks to Evelyn's chambers, where she rummages for a shawl for Evelyn. One of her nicer ones, so that she may impress Miss Vey. And she will take those back downstairs, carrying them very carefully.
All right, and then Iris or Evelyn, make a roll for me.
I defer to
Okay.
the house.
Much obliged. The highest is a 4. There are no 1s.
You head back into the room with the chandelier. It's not moving, but you can see water droplets coming from it, as if the roof is leaking where the chandelier is hung.
I do apologize, Miss Vey. This must be a new revelation. I assure you our house is in the utmost condition.
Inadequacies are not your fault. You didn't build this with your hands. Here. And I'm gonna try and just like wander around and find like an ash bucket that usually goes with the fireplace and try to just put it under the dripping chandelier. Can't have the wet coming in to ruin your lovely hardwoods. And oh, this rug is gorgeous.
Thank you. Was imported.
Naturally.
And Evelyn holds out a hand.
Lizzie will hand over her shawl. Is the ceiling leaking?
So it would seem.
Since when?
But a moment ago, I suppose. It must be quite the storm outside.
Oh dear.
Right.
Oh, a blanket for you, Miss Vey.
Thank you so much, dear.
Evelyn,
No.
I'd like for you to make another roll, please.
As she does, she eyes the blanket and looks at Lizzie disapprovingly. A 2, a 3, and a 5. No 6s, no 1.
Okay, there's a weird moment when you say quite the storm outside, where your eyes kind of drift away from the blanket and look at the window where you see the rain pattering against it. But it's just rain. You don't think there was anything there.
Iris is going to start wandering over to the window after the comment about the storm outside, trying to see if there's like lightning or thunder, something that might be adding energy to the spirits in the home, and just trying to see like just mostly seeing what the fuck's going on outside.
Sure, I'll have you make a roll for me.
All right. We've lost 2 friends. And I got a 4 is the highest I got.
All right, as you walk over to the window, you're looking out, you're trying to look for lightning, you're listening for thunder. All you hear is the rain. And you know that feeling of like when you're falling asleep but you jump back awake? That's perpetual. It's not a quick moment. You're constantly having that feeling as you're looking out, and there's no lightning. There are no clouds, there's no sky, there's just dark. And Evelyn and Lizzie, you just see Iris kind of zone out at the window for a moment.
Are you quite all right, Miss Bay?
Oh, yes. It's quite dark out tonight. Seems none of your neighbors saw fit to light the lanterns. Everyone must be in bed already. Quite dark. Goodness. Wet, too. Quite wet.
Well, yes, that is what tends to happen when it rains.
Of course, yes, of course. Terrible thing, isn't it? And just like Iris is definitely used to like feeling weird feelings, but the constant like jerking of waking up kind of rattles her, and she puts a bit of distance between her and the window, but doesn't really turn her back to it. Kind of tends to like strafe or like walk backwards, even pretending like she's taking in the scenery around her.
Well, perhaps there's a game we can play or something to pass the time until your spirits finish dinner preparations.
I'm a dab hand at poker. I don't know if you've played poker before, but I'm quite proficient. I've played chess, but that's hard for 3 people to play.
I'm happy to watch while the 2 of you enjoy yourselves. Poker is not exactly my bag. Is that how the youth might portray
Quite
that?
so. Quite so. That was very good. What you say, Lizzie? A quick game of chess? Poker? I could teach you poker. They play them in the taverns.
Chess would be nice. I'm actually quite good at it.
Of course you are. Yes, let's do that. Iris is bad at chess. I don't have any other way to say it. Iris is bad at chess.
Does Iris try to play chess in like she's playing poker? Like there's like
There's absolutely like thinking she's gonna bluff. For a moment, she kind of zones out, and she's absolutely trying to like mind read Lizzie, trying to do some different kind of mediumship that she's not trained for.
Amazing. As they begin playing chess, Evelyn, you are noticing the house is getting darker. You have some, like, lanterns out and about, but the house is just, it's almost damp feeling.
Evelyn pulls the shawl closer around her shoulders, and if there are any candles that are not yet lit, we'll pull them out and set them up. Not quite disdainfully, because it's been a very long time since she set her own candles. But this darkness must be banished, and she is not fond of it. So,
As Evelyn is setting up the candles, you all hear kind of echoing from another room. Iris?
Oh, I've been summoned. Pardon
Did you
me.
invite guests into our home?
I would never. I am a humble guest at your home. I'm thankful to be here.
Iris, are you there?
perhaps our missing party guests? Do you recognize the voice, Ms. Vey?
You can hear them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to being the only one that can hear the spirits. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is so exciting. We're tapping into your latent abilities. This is incredible. When I come back, we'll have some real deep down conversations about how best to speak with spirits. I'll go see what they're about right now. Incredible. I'm so proud of both of you. And Iris just darts out of the room. Iris is gonna follow the voice because she's never seen a horror movie. It's the Victorian times. Hello, yes, I heard you. Are you waiting for me somewhere? Can we speak? Can I see you? I'd love to see your face. Usually I just see a bit of a shadow. I've seen a face once or twice, but this is...
Evelyn, should we allow her to go off alone?
Very good instinct, Lizzie. Well done. Why don't you follow Ms. Vey, and I'll wait here.
Yes, madam.
Incredible. First, I would like a roll from Iris.
All right, I'll use two of our remaining 4. We lost 1 and we got a 2.
Oh boy.
Everything's bad.
I would like a roll from Lizzie. Dice pool 3.
I'm just gonna use 2 of those. Didn't lose any, but didn't get a success either.
All right, and last, I would like a roll from Evelyn.
A 5, no ones.
Iris, you are heading off in the direction of this voice. You're speaking to it. Lizzie, you are rushing after Evelyn. You're staying in this room. I would like for each of you to tell me something bad that happens from your failures.
Iris starts following this voice as she hears it, and starts going through different hallways, and the hallways slowly become less and less lit until she is kind of way far back in the house at a locked door next to another window, trying to get in because she's convinced that's where the voice is coming from, and realizes she's gotten herself properly lost in the house.
Lizzie steps out, and as she's walking down the hallways, she feels something grabbing and yanking on her shawl and pulling her back.
Evelyn stands again and tries to fix that clock. And as she's winding it, one of the springs snaps, catching her hand in its inner workings. And it is unpleasant.
So all at once, we see Iris looking around, realizing she doesn't know where she is in this manner. We see Lizzie kind of going to follow Iris, but then something's tugging, spinning around. There's nothing there. You could have sworn you felt it, and then when you look back, Iris is gone. You're not sure where Iris went. And then you hear the sound of the spring breaking, and there's a just slice in Evelyn's hand. She kind of like pulls her hand back. You see pieces of the clock kind of falling down, and there's sound for a moment as the pieces clatter, and then it's eerily silent. Almost as if the rain has stopped.
Evelyn pulls out a handkerchief and tries to staunch the bleeding.
Miss Vey? Miss Vey? Oh no. Oh dear. The madam's gonna kill me.
Call out again. I've lost you, I think. Where are you?
Iris.
Oh, thank you. Iris is gonna start. Iris is truly just following the voice. Isn't really paying attention to where she turns or what she passes. Is just like putting all of her focus on finding this voice.
Okay. You eventually come to a locked door. You hear, Iris, are you there?
I'm right here. Open the door for me. All right, and I'll just start I'll do 3 knocks on the door and see if it knocks back.
I'll need you to make a roll for that.
Yeah. All right. I'm using our last 3. 2 6s, but we did lose 1. I like to cause problems here.
All right, so you knock and you wait, and then you hear 3 knocks back on the door.
All right, you can knock on the door. Can you open it? It might take a bit of energy. You can use my energy if you need to. I've got plenty of it. That's what everyone says, at least.
I would like for you to make one more roll, please.
All right. 2 5s.
Forgot to lower that. Boop. Okay. The moment you say you can use my energy, you feel like you're in the middle of a nap. There is this just draining feeling, like you've been swimming all day or something. You just suddenly kind of slouch a little bit, and the doorknob turns and
Well done. You did great. I'm going in.
all right, Iris walks in. What are Evelyn and Lizzie up to?
Lizzie is going to look around and listen for a moment, but unless she hears anything that would indicate where Miss Vey is, did you say that I heard the clock spring break
Yes,
from where
you
I
did
am?
hear that. Yeah, you were
Or
close
was
enough.
that just okay? Okay, then I will turn around and return to the lady of the house.
Lizzie would find Evelyn, her handkerchief wrapped around her hand, just kind of clutching it to her chest. And she looks up at Lizzie and says, "And where is our esteemed Miss Vey?"
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, madam. I thought I felt. Honestly, I thought it was you for a second. Someone grabbed my shawl, and I stopped long enough to turn back, and by the time I turned around, I mean, I suppose she's somewhere in the house. Surely she wouldn't have gone out in this. Oh. Did the rain stop?
You allowed a guest to wander freely in the house. Do you know what she could stumble into, Lizzie?
Yes, madam. I heard the clock spring.
No excuses. Find her, if you
Yes, ma'am.
please.
Yes, madam. And Lizzie will practically sprint out of the room.
Lizzie, I would like for you to make a roll for me.
1 6, no ones.
Okay. Iris. You have walked into this room. You begin looking around. It's very, very dark. But you do see one small candle that looks like it's been burning for quite a few hours. You see it's like melted to the floor. It looks like it was a pretty large candle, but it's half burned already. It's just sitting in the middle of the floor, and you're noticing all around you are items, various items, covered in white sheets. I would like for you to make a roll for me, please.
Yeah, I bet you. 3 and a 4.
Damn it. I mean, great.
Like newly exhausted. This isn't a foreign feeling to her. She's tried to like share her energy before. It's probably one of the first times it's worked. To this much effect. But I think seeing the candle in the middle of the floor and remembering like the dark feeling and like the weirdness of the light outside and knowing that all of the like house help is AWOL at the moment. Oh, thank you for the warning about the candle. That could spell disaster, honestly. Thank you. You've done a great service to this house. And I'm gonna go try and pick up the candle dish and bring it out of the room.
Lizzie, as you're walking down the hall, you hear Iris's voice kind of echoing from like a distant hall, distant doorway, and you can head that way. You will head up as you're seeing Iris pick up the candle.
Oh, Miss Vey.
Oh, hello.
I'm sure the lady of the house would prefer if you did not touch anything.
I usually wouldn't dare, but this candle was in the middle of the floor, and I think that's what the spirits were telling me. They didn't want the house to burn. It's quite dangerous to leave a candle just on the floor. It was melting down. I understand that the house help has been a bit gone, but well, I don't think she would begrudge me stopping the home from burning. Do you?
Well, she was lighting all of the candles in the sitting room. How did you get into this room? It's usually locked.
It's the incredible thing, Lizzie. Spirits opened the door for me. It was incredible. I felt drained, like I've never felt before. It was a transference, basically.
Oh,
it was incredible.
I don't think the madam will appreciate spirits unlocking her doors. Come, let's go back to the sitting room.
All right. Thank you again, spirits. Don't unlock any more doors without the lady of the house's say so, I suppose.
I would like for one of you
Is that good enough?
to roll, please. You're like, not me.
I canonically have bad rolls on this channel.
We lost one.
Good night, sweet prince.
The other was a 4.
I need to message Lizzie something.
Everything's fine. This is fine.
Iris, were you planning to bring the candle with us?
I mean, I don't want to leave it in here. There's dust and white sheets that are kind of sprawling. That seems dangerous, does it not?
Yes, actually, maybe you should pick it up?
Oh, yes. I will. I'll walk over and pick it up.
Which you've done once already. You pick it up and you bring it over to the door, and Lizzie, as Iris walks back over to the door, Iris is holding her hands as if she's holding the candle, but the candle's still in the center of the floor.
Miss Faye, I know that you were invited to entertain guests, but there are no guests to entertain, and I do not find this humorous. And in fact, I don't enjoy humor as a hobby.
I'm not doing anything funny. I've tried to pick this candle up twice now. Perhaps the spirits want you to do it. Maybe it wasn't for me to find. Maybe it was for you.
I will walk over to pick up the candle.
As you are leaning down, you hear, Williams? And I would like for each of you to roll a d6 for me to see if any of them are successes or any of them are fails.
Well,
6.
No.
Oh, is that a 1? Hell yeah.
No. And it was on my Mollymock themed D6.
You know what?
Two.
It's perfect.
Molly, how could you?
Betrayal.
It's perfect that it was you, though. Because as you are leaning down to pick up this candle, you hear, Williams? And right before your hand touches the candle, the flame extinguishes. You're plunged into darkness and you hear the door boom, slam.
The room with all of the sheet-covered items smells like old tobacco.
The candles in the sitting room where Evelyn is waiting extinguish simultaneously.
I can hear the sound of a breeze rustling the sheets of the room I'm in.
Lizzie, do you remember that tugging that you were feeling?
Vividly.
You're feeling it again. And
Joy.
all of these things are true. And the world is dark.
And we are alive.
The scene is yours.
Lizzie, was that you? Did you shut the door? Was that you? I didn't shut the door. Did you shut the door?
Of course not. I'm on the other side of the room. Please stop tugging on me. I know you're panicked.
I'm nowhere near you.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't know where you are. I'm waving my arms right now and I can't touch you.
Iris, I would like for you to make a roll, please.
Shit. I'm gonna use 4. Shit, we lost one. No successes.
You're waving your arms around and you slam into something. You hear it fall and topple over. You hear something glass break. You're not entirely sure what it was. Lizzie, I need you to make a roll as well.
The mistress is going to kill me.
She's going to kill me.
I'm using 4. Don't kill me.
Are they all
Yeah.
ones?
We lost 3.
We lost 3.
Oh my god.
We lost 3.
Incredible.
Oh boy.
Hot 5
Oh.
within a minute.
We just started the scene, you guys.
I'm panicking. Things are breaking. There's things tugging on me, and she just broke one of the madam's antiques. I am in so much trouble.
Yeah, you hear the glass shatter, and then instead of tugging on your clothes, you feel fingertips on your cheek, just for a moment.
Yuck, Kerri. Yuck.
Yep.
Miss Vay,
What?
there are very valuable, very delicate things in this room. I must ask that you not
I
break them,
didn't
please.
intend to. I was trying to prove to you that I wasn't near you.
Well, clearly you must be, because you just touched me. And again, I would rather you didn't. I don't enjoy that.
I didn't touch you. I don't know how to tell you I'm nowhere near you. I don't know how to prove it to you. Could you tell where my voice is? At the very least.
I mean, yes, but it doesn't sound that far. This isn't a very large room.
I don't think I'm in touching range. Here, you reach out. You reach out and try to touch me. I will not move. I will not do a thing.
Lizzie, please make a roll.
I'm just gonna use 2.
Evelyn, you're not gonna have any dice left by the time.
No!
What?
Christy, how many did we lose? Ah,
We lost
let's
one?
go.
I'm not allowed to roll anymore. I'm not doing it.
Incredible. So, Lizzie, you are reaching out and you touch a shoulder.
See, I told you you were within touching distance.
You're not. No one's touching me. I'm not being touched right now. I don't feel anything.
Well, that is unfortunate, because I do.
Spirits! Spirits! Please refrain from touching either Miss Lizzie or myself. If you need our attention, words will do just fine. Thank you so much. Personal space and all that would be greatly appreciated. And an unlocked door and maybe a lit candle if you can manage. Please and thank you.
Evelyn, you are
Yes.
plunged into darkness as every candle extinguishes at once.
Evelyn stands stock still, not comfortable in this. And she just recently had lit a number of candles, and I suspect would remember where in this room, in this house she's lived in her entire life, where precisely she'd left the matches. And she will move towards that to try and relight at least one
Okay,
to
go
remove
ahead and
herself.
make a roll for me
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
with your big old dice pool of 4.
That's one success and 0 ones.
There we go.
Because this
So
is
far,
my
the only one
house,
allowed to
gosh darn
roll.
it. Yeah.
Okay,
It's my house, no spirits.
what's the scene look like?
Yeah. The camera sees this, though Evelyn does not, because it's too dark. Her fingers graze the top of the mantle where she knows there are matches. And at first they run over the curios, the broken bits of clock, and then something else, something strange that she doesn't quite recognize, and she pulls her hands away for a moment. And then back, and finally at the matches, and she strikes one, and she sees something in the light that makes her drop it. And then she strikes it again. And reaches for a candle.
Yeah, you strike it again, and whatever was there, whatever you saw, it must have been just a trick of the light. You reach for a candle, and you light one. You hear distressed voices coming from Iris and Lizzie from off somewhere. Definitely distressed. Iris is seemingly shouting at the spirits.
Evelyn shakes her head at the utter incompetence and begins to make her way towards the noise of the other two.
All right, go ahead and make another roll for me.
That is 2 6s and 1, so we lose 1. But great success. Evelyn, as mentioned, has lived in this house her entire life. She could probably navigate it blindfolded if she were so inclined. But there's something wrong with the hallways. The twists and turns don't quite align to the map in her head, and she knows where she's going. She knows that the route that she is taking is right, but there's something wrong as the candle, the single candle, flickers across the portraits and the vases and all sorts of things that have collected in the centuries of their family. But eventually, she doesn't think too much about it when she reaches the closed door that should have been locked, but instead is occupied by the other two.
You open it.
Yeah. I reach out to the doorknob with my unbandaged hand, and she opens the door and sees the two of them? Question mark?
With the little bit of candlelight that you have, you open the door. It takes a moment for your eyes to adjust, but you do see many shapes in here as things are covered with sheets. But you do see Iris and Lizzie before you. Nobody else.
What in the world is going on up here?
Madam, I'm so sorry.
Ah! This room is usually locked.
She claimed the spirits opened the door for her.
They did. I offered my energy and they took it.
Is there a candle on the floor?
There is a candle on the floor. It is not lit and it's tipped over. It doesn't even look like it was hot wax or anything. But Evelyn, as you are looking at this candle, one of the things under the sheets move slightly.
Evelyn jumps back just a little bit. I think it would be most prudent for you both to get out of this room, if you please.
Yes, of course, madam.
Of course. Many apologies for encroaching on your privacy. Also, something broke. I don't know what it is. Okay, thank you.
I would like for Lizzie and Iris to both make a roll for me. You can decide who goes first.
Honestly, we're both screwed, dude. You go first.
Yeah. 3 and a 4.
No ones, but no sixes either.
Okay, so Iris, as you're saying, something broke, don't know what it was. As you go to walk past, you hear glass crunch under your foot.
Oh, goodness.
By something broke, she means she broke something.
I see that.
I'm quite adept at using glue or any other kind of adhesive to piece things back together. Puzzles are an interest of mine.
Please, Miss Faye, it is enough of a stressful evening that I do not have to have you hodgepodging in a storage room, if you please.
So sorry, so sorry. Lizzie, or not Lizzie, Iris will slink out of the room a little uncomfortably.
Iris,
Just a little.
do you look down to see what it is that you're stepping on?
Yeah, probably. I think Iris, as she was like saying like, "Oh, I'm good at puzzles," I think she was looking down like she was about to kind of like swoop down and scoop something up.
You see scattered all over the floor now, it was a jar full of like ground tobacco.
Oh, that must have been where the smell was coming from. That makes so much sense. It smelled like tobacco in here when I first entered, and I'm sorry to have unleashed that scent upon the rest of the room, but in other news, it's not something irreplaceable, so that's good. I can run to the kitchen and get a jar right quick and save your absent housekeeper the trouble.
That was my late husband's. It used to rest on his desk. So I assure you, Miss Faye, it is not replaceable.
Quite irreplaceable, yes, I understand. My greatest apologies to you and the Lord of the House.
Perhaps this is when you exit the
Yes,
room.
yes, of course. I will leave the room post-haste.
I am so sorry, madam. I don't even know how she found this room.
To think she was vouched for. You can't trust anyone these days.
No, madam.
Evelyn will pull a ring of keys out of her. There's a special word for it, but it escapes me, out of her pocket. And hold it and wait until Lizzie leaves. She doesn't say anything. She just.
Lizzie, without question, follows Iris out.
Evelyn, I would like for you to make a roll for me, please.
Cool. 6. Why am I the only one that can roll, guys?
It's your house.
Classic.
It's your house, and the house is like, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, Captain. You're watching Lizzie walk out. Lizzie, you think Evelyn is watching you walk out, but Evelyn's eyes are over just slightly to the object under the sheet that had moved, because for each step Lizzie is taking, the object is taking one behind her.
Evelyn, I think, looks for a moment at this figure, and she knows every piece of furniture in this house. She knows that this room should have the remains of her dear beloved husband's office, his effects, and that sort of thing. And so when she looks at the figure, she thinks for a moment that this is not a piece of furniture. She would recognize that figure anywhere, and it is the figure of her husband. And she grabs the sheet and pulls in shock and confusion, and it simply falls to the ground empty, as if nothing were there at all. And she's left with a sheet in her hand, and she drops it. Right. And follows Lizzie out the door. She will lock it behind her.
As you hear the sound of the click of the lock, you're noticing you're having to stay pretty close to each other. It's dark. It is unreasonably dark. Even the candlelight seems like it's just being suffocated.
Perhaps we return to the sitting room then. There are no candles in there. We can light them and perhaps close a door to keep ourselves secure against whatever your spiritualism has brought into this house.
Yes, madam, that seems very wise.
For the first time, Iris doesn't say anything, just kind of nods and follows along.
Evelyn leads the way.
I would again like all of you to make a roll. You decide who goes first and who goes last.
Shall I go first?
Evelyn should
As
go
it's my house. That's a 6 and a 1. So, that's fine.
A 3 and a 5.
A 3 and a 4.
I think the hallways, however wrong they were on your way up, they're a little more correct on your way down. Where are you leading everyone? Back to the main room?
Back to the sitting room, because I know that, well, we had candles in there, who can say now? But I also know there are doors that can be shut to that room if we do in fact feel insecure in this house.
Okay, all of you are led back into the sitting room. It's a lot colder now.
Does the fire need stoking? It's a bit frigid in here. Is there a place where wood is kept in the house? Maybe I can bring the fire up a bit.
We usually have the servants to do that, but I do believe they occasionally keep some. If there's not some next to the fireplace, there may be some in the kitchen.
It might do to check on our dinner. Shall I go
yes.
and find some warmth and maybe some sustenance as well? I promise not to stray from the singular path.
It's okay. Why don't you keep the madam company? I'll go look for the wood. I know where it's usually kept.
Yes, thank you.
Evelyn will hand Lizzie her ring of keys in case she needs them.
Lizzie will look down quite nervously because that is a lot of responsibility, and she will nod politely and turn and stride out of the room.
I think we hear it's silent. We hear Lizzie's shoes echoing down the hall until we don't hear them anymore, and it's just Iris and Evelyn in a really loud quiet.
Evelyn is perched on her chair, this massive wing-backed thing, her ankles crossed, her hands in her lap. Oh, Ms. Vey, how did you become so adept with the powers that be?
Honestly, it's kind of been a thing I could do since I was a child. I would see little, hazes, I suppose. They'd be in the corners of rooms or down a street. My mother had an awful time trying to get me not to talk about them. It scared the other children, you see. And sometimes I would just hear little messages, tell Abigail that her grandmother used to put 4 lemon drops in the cake instead of 3, or harmless little messages from the beyond. It's pardon me if this is forward, but have you ever spoken to your husband? Do you know if he's around? Perhaps he's the one causing a bit of mischief tonight. The rain, the movement of water sometimes elicits energy that is taken by spirits. And if you would want to speak with him again, I might be able to facilitate something for you. And it's just like winds down on sentences like she's expecting Evelyn to speak, and then when Evelyn doesn't, winding herself back up to speak, to be like, yes, I wasn't done speaking, of course I have more to say.
When Iris finally allows the silence to exist for more than 2 seconds, Evelyn says, "The Lord Williams was never much a believer in the afterlife. Nor was he much a believer in communicating. I have never tried. But on a night such as this, perhaps it's worth a try. It will at least pass the time as an amusement. That is why you're here, is it not?"
Yes, of course. I must say that in my experience, whether or not you believe in something doesn't necessarily mean it's true or false. He may not have believed in it in life, but perhaps in death he's seen fit to strike a new belief system, and he's maybe trying to show you or open your mind to something, or give you a message. Was his passing expected?
No, it was not.
Oftentimes, when it's a bit of a shock for everyone, including the person who's passing, they stick around. They kind of feel like things weren't ever finished, and they try to finish things. I'm not saying that's the case for him. It's just a pattern I've observed, and perhaps that's what's happening now. It's interesting, isn't it?
Evelyn brushes invisible dust off of her voluminous black skirts and says, "That is a word to use. Miss Vey, perhaps we try it while Lizzie is not in the room. I wouldn't want to upset the girl."
Of course. All right. And Iris is gonna try and push two chairs kind of close together, and hold out her hands. It works a bit better if we're connected, you see. Of course you don't have to, but
Evelyn considers it a moment and then stands and sits in the suggested chair and then very, like, daintily, I guess, puts her hands in Iris's.
The camera sees the hands touch, and the scene shifts back over to Lizzie. Where are you heading?
I am heading in the direction of the kitchen.
Okay. Once you approach the kitchen door, you hear, Williams. Williams. House?
Yes. It is the madam's home.
You hear the sound of maybe something spilling or getting knocked over in the kitchen.
She's gonna kill me if they make a mess in there. I'm going to open the door and look inside.
Yeah, you head into the kitchen and you see on the countertop 3 different jars. Looks like they were filled with tobacco, but you see something's moving inside of them.
Chrissy would never, but Lizzie is going to examine this.
Chrissy would never. Make a roll for me, please.
that feels like a constant refrain of this session is I would never do this, but
6. 1 singular 6.
Amazing. As you head over, you pick up the jar. It's just tobacco.
The madam will be pleased to know some survived. That's odd. How did it get in here?
Do you look up?
I mean, at some point, yes, whenever she puts it down.
Looking around, kind of asking how it got here. As you look up, you see every spoon, fork, and knife are on the ceiling.
At this point, she backs out of the kitchen.
Go ahead and make a roll for me, please.
Yeah, I don't wanna. There's 1 6 and 1 1.
Amazing. All right. Incredible. So you are like slowly backing out of the kitchen at first, and then you see them all start to fall, and you just kind of like push yourself backwards. You slam into the door like bursts open, you slam down onto the floor, but every single thing that falls misses you. You see knives stabbing like into parts of the floor or the furniture as it falls, but you've managed to escape it.
Oh, God.
William's house?
Are you saying you don't want me here?
Make another roll for me.
Oh, okay. It's a 3.
Okay. You hear a voice, but it sounds too muffled. You can't make out what it says. It sounds like it's getting further away from you.
I'm just going to kind of like dust myself off and kind of sprint back to
Okay.
the sitting area.
Meanwhile, Iris and Evelyn have joined hands. What next?
All right. Focus on a sense of your husband, whether it was the way he carried himself, the way he spoke, the way he smelled, what he looked like. Pick one, and just really focus on it. Hone in on every specific detail you can remember.
Evelyn closes her eyes and her focus is on the smell of tobacco and library books and shaving cream and a very particular type of tea that he liked to drink that she did not approve of because it was cheap. And she thinks about it and she remembers it.
Evelyn, I would like for you to make a roll for me, please.
That was a 1.
Hey!
Evelyn feels a steady, familiar hand on her shoulder.
Lizzie continues to hear something that sounds like footsteps receding away from her.
As Iris is holding Evelyn's hands, they go from sure and steady and a little bit dry to cold, clammy, and beginning to tremble.
The candles that light your room are almost gone, as if they've been burning for hours. These things are true. The world is dark.
And
We are alive.
Iris,
is gonna kind of clutch onto Evelyn's hands, trying to kind of like warm them and maybe not stop the shaking, but kind of like comfort the trembling. It's you're doing great. This is it's hard when you've lost someone and you have to remember something so specific about them. I understand why you're feeling this way, but you're safe and it's all right to feel this way.
Evelyn releases one of Iris's hands and reaches back as if to clutch it. Charles.
make a roll for me, Evelyn.
That's a 6.
No one's?
It's my house, goddammit.
Farah.
Your house.
It's my house.
You reach back and you feel a hand.
It's here with us. You feeling?
Oh, Charles. I I've been without you for so long. I tried to keep everything together. Oh God, Charles. And she feels the hand squeeze.
Mr. Williams, we've had quite a busy night. If this is you, could you give us a sign that you've been the one causing mischief? Trying to show your wife that you're still here?
Gonna need a roll, Iris.
We lost one, boys. And no successes.
You're looking around. You don't, there's nothing. You're not hearing anything. You're not seeing anything. Evelyn, I'm gonna have you make a roll for me.
Okay. Last one, no successes.
You hear almost the sound of like the wind, almost like brushing past your ear. But that's it. You don't feel the hand anymore. It's almost as if the connection is gone. Lizzie, you are heading back into this room rather quickly. I'm gonna have you make a roll for me.
No successes, but no ones either.
You are sprinting, rushing back to this room. As you go to turn into the room, you slam into someone, something. You again fall back down, just like you had into the door before. And as you look up, you see a figure standing. You see some sort of coat on. They're tall. And before you can say anything, it almost looks like the figure leans down closer to you, but it's too shadowed. You can't see them. You can't make out any features, but darkness just comes from them. Darkness is spilling out of them, and all you can hear is, "Let go." And then the figure disappears.
Madam? Madam?
Yes, Lizzie. What is it?
There was someone in the house. Someone. There's something. It was very dark. They were large. And they had a coat on.
Don't. Perhaps we confine ourselves in here. Evelyn hands a shaking hand out to Lizzie for the keys.
Oh, yes.
Lizzie,
Here.
make a roll for me.
There was. Cool, yeah. We lost one and there's no successes.
You don't have the key ring.
Oh. Madam, I'm so sorry.
Me?
There were knives and spoons and all the cutlery was on the ceiling in the kitchen, and I fell leaving, and then I fell whenever I bumped into the figure, and I am so sorry. It must have fell out of my pocket. I'm not quite used to carrying them. I am so sorry.
Well, we've got to go back for the firewood anyway. It's a straight shot. Certainly they'll be easy to find, right, Miss Williams? Lady Williams, I'm so sorry.
One would hope. And she looks at Lizzie with immense disappointment. She stands and begins to move towards the door. As I said before, if you want something done correctly, one must do it one's self.
Yes, madam.
Are you all heading
And she'll head
to...
out the door.
You all heading together? Okay, I would like a roll from each of you. In whatever order.
Madam, it's your house.
Coming at you with no failures, but no successes either.
Sorry, I have a plan.
2 successes!
One success.
Okay, so Evelyn is leading the way, but Lizzie and Iris, I think maybe Lizzie with the 2 successes and because you just left this scene, what does this scene look like as you're approaching the kitchen?
I think you can still hear a little bit of clattering coming from the kitchen. Some incoherent banging. I feel like it's even colder in this room than it had been previously. I'm so sorry, madam. Maybe we shouldn't have antagonized the spirits by asking them to cook for us. Seems they took great offense to that. You're not going to like the state of your floors. There were knives stuck in them last I saw.
They must have heard you.
I'm sorry, Miss Faye. Do you think this funny?
She doesn't appreciate humor either.
Then no, this is very serious. Very serious indeed. I'm very sorry. I just think it is quite interesting that they heard and then decided to use the cutlery. I just think that's quite interesting. Whoever's here has been listening this entire time, and who knows what they may be interested in. Iris kind of wilts under Evelyn's gaze.
3 women alone in a house like this, Miss Faye. It does not do to make jokes about any such thing. Am I understood?
Of course, madam. My apologies.
Evelyn is searching the ground where Lizzie must have dropped the keys, because of course she did. And makes her way to the kitchen door.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me.
2 successes and 1 failure.
All right, so what do those successes look like? Where are the keys?
The keys are in the kitchen door, as if Lizzie, had to unlock the door. Evelyn removes the collection of keys and just tuts. A sound that Lizzie is, I'm sure, very familiar with.
Madam, I didn't. The door is unlocked.
And yet, here they are, not dropped at all.
My apologies. I don't remember unlocking the door. I'm so sorry.
Wordlessly, Evelyn just pushes the door open into the kitchen.
As that door is pushed open, Lizzie, I need a roll from you, please.
Do you though? Is that a thing you really need? Ooh, 1 6 and 1 3.
Okay. You're trying to remember. You remember. You remember you did not have to put the keys in that door.
Madam, those keys did not leave my pocket.
Well, if that's the case, then there's someone in this house with us. And that is also not ideal. So, we collect the firewood from the kitchen, and then we return to the sitting room. And we lock the doors.
Yes, madam.
Okay.
Walk in and look in the corner that the extra firewood is usually kept.
Iris, I would like a roll from you, please.
All right, get ready to lose some dice, friends. You only lost one. None successes. During this entire time, Iris has been not ignoring the other two, but has been kind of on her own, quietly for once, reaching out to anything that might be in the house to try and just like better understand what's happening, I guess. Because I don't think she thinks there's anyone else here. I think she's still like on the there's a spirit and it's probably Mr. Williams vibe. So I think just kind of silently to herself, she's like, right, if anyone's here, please let me know. I know, Mr. Williams, you had a lovely connected moment with your wife. If you could just let me know that it's you doing this, that would, I think, ease everyone's mind.
Evelyn and Lizzie, you are heading over to gather up some wood, correct?
Yes.
Mhm.
I need a roll from one of you. You can pick.
I can, yeah.
Uh-huh. It's your house.
That's a success.
All right, you gather up some firewood, no problem. Iris, I think as one piece of wood is picked up, it makes another one kind of tumble down, and during that tumble, during that sound, you swear you hear a whisper in your ear. You swear you do. And I'm gonna type that to you.
Iris kind of lets that sink in. All right, if you're not Williams, are you, perhaps you came with the, items within this house? I know there are antiques galore. Still all kind of just projecting out this intention, not really saying anything out loud. Perhaps you came with one of the antiques. There are many in this house. What are you looking for? Who are you trying to reach? What are you trying to understand or get? What do you need?
Go ahead and make another roll for me.
Yeah, I'm getting them.
As-
I'm getting them.
As Evelyn and Lizzie, you have fully, gotten as much as you need.
I hope so. As much as her little shaking hands can carry.
What is that? What is happening?
So we lost 2. Good news is we have 1 left.
Oh boy.
This is fine.
Instead of hearing an answer this time, Iris, you feel an intent more than anything. You feel like you're in danger. You feel the darkness seeping out of the corners and leaking into the room. You're afraid what will happen when the darkness reaches the candle.
If I might be so bold, I believe we need to return to our earlier accommodations and keep everything lit. I've been trying to communicate with whoever this is. Your husband may have been here before. He's not now. It's not. We should keep the lights on, please.
Then if you would be so kind to collect as much as you can carry.
Of course.
Master Williams was here.
Yes, Lizzie. He was.
Oh.
Mm.
Was he ever angry about me being in your home?
I think this is neither the time nor the place.
So that is a yes.
Your presence here in this house, Lizzie, was at times inconvenient, to be sure. And I have tried my very best to ensure that you are a worthy recipient of this name and house.
There has been something calling out the words Williams House over and over again to me. And I just wondered if it was him reminding me I don't truly belong here.
Evelyn looks at Lizzie with a seriousness that I'm sure she's seen before, but there's something different behind it this time. And Evelyn says, Elizabeth Williams, I gave you that name when you arrived at our doorstep. That makes it truly yours.
Yes, madam, thank
All you must do is take it.
Of course, madam.
Let us return. And Evelyn will ensure that her keys are in her hand while they are moving and that they are not going anywhere.
Okay. Just like last time, I would like each of you to roll 1d6. Four. There's no way.
Really?
Incredible.
Oh my goodness.
Once again, Lizzie feels a tug on her shawl as she walks away.
Evelyn, as she's leading the way out and back to the room, hears her husband's voice. And as she turns to the sound of him calling her name, she is suddenly alone.
Iris is fumbling with the firewood and the discomfort of everything she's kind of brought down around everyone. And as they're making their way down the hallway in a line, and as Evelyn turns to hear her husband's voice, and Lizzie feels a tug on her shawl, Iris turns into the study or the sitting room and sees a flash of something moving past the window that stops her in her tracks.
And while all of this is happening, Lizzie hears it better than anyone. You hear the familiar sound of someone sprinting down the stairs. All of these things are true. The world is dark.
And we
We
are
are
alive.
alive.
Evelyn, you turned around and you are alone.
Oh dear. Do I recognize the hallway? Because she knows this house backwards, forwards, and inside out.
Go ahead and make a roll.
That's a 1, friends. Goodbye, dice. We're
Already?
off to a great start. Already. Just 1. The other 2 were 3s, and so not a success.
Does that mean that this isn't your house?
That, in fact, means
Maybe.
you do not recognize this hallway.
Great. Cool. Wonderful. Well, I still have the candle, presumably, because I was leading the way.
You do. You still have a candle. You're looking. You don't recognize this hallway. It looks like it stretches out forever. And there are doors on both sides.
Right. Evelyn will turn around and walk back the way she came, or like where she thinks she just came from.
Okay, go ahead and make another roll for me.
Let's do 2. I guess I saved all my good rolls for last game.
I mean, it's not your house anymore. You're not in your house, so
Yeah.
No ones though.
No.
Okay. You turn around and you're faced with a wall.
Oh dear. Right. I will knock on the first door on the left.
Okay, you head over to the door and with that knock, we're gonna switch over to Iris. Iris, you have walked into the sitting room and you saw something move past the window.
Oh gosh, is there someone outside? I think I'm just gonna start looking around for either of the women of the house, to see if maybe they knew of someone coming to the party late, perhaps.
I'll say Lizzie was kind of dragging behind just a little bit, but you turn around and Evelyn's not there anymore.
Miss Lady Williams, are you about the house? Are you near at hand? Lizzie?
Go ahead and make a roll for me, Iris.
We lost one, boys. And no successes. Because everything's bad.
Amazing. You're looking around, you're calling for Evelyn, and then you swear you hear the curtains move. And for a moment, this dread sinks in. Whatever you saw moving, it wasn't on the outside of the house.
Oh dear. All right. Spirits, this is Iris. Again, you are doing a remarkable job of scaring the daylights out of me, which is remarkable. I've seen you for my whole life, and this is a singularly uncomfortable experience for me. Would you please stop it now? Before Miss Williams and I re-enter the lounge.
I'll need one more roll.
Yeah. No successes, but no ones.
It's quiet for a moment. And then you hear almost... It's quiet, It doesn't quite sound like a whisper, but it sounds like almost like the voice is muffled. You hear, "Can you hear us?"
Yes, I can hear you. We've established that. We've had conversations already. I'm asking you, where's Lady Williams gone? Can you tell me that? Can you tell me where Lady Williams is so that Ms. Williams and I might find her?
Make one more roll for me.
Yeah. 1-6.
Okay. This answer, it comes in a little bit clearer. It doesn't sound as muffled. It doesn't sound as quiet or far away. You just hear, "In between."
Yes, I quite understand you're in a holding pattern between our realm and the beyond. Thank you for that confirmation, I suppose. One moment. And I'm just gonna start walking back toward Lizzie.
Meanwhile, Lizzie, you felt something tugging at your clothing, and then you heard something sprinting down the stairs.
I'm gonna turn towards it.
Go ahead and make a roll for me.
Okay. That is 2 6s and a 3.
Okay, so as you kind of spin around to look up and see whatever is sprinting down the stairs, you don't actually see anything there, but you see each step almost vibrating with dust that comes up off of it with one footprint and another and another and another, as if someone is sprinting down the stairs. And then when there's 3 steps left, it's quiet for a moment, and then you hear boom as they land, as almost as if they've jumped off of the last 3 steps and landed. And then you hear the footsteps sprinting away into the kitchen.
So away from me. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're running away from me, I'm gonna be curious. So, I suppose she'll hello and follow after.
Go ahead and make another roll for me.
I got 1 6, but 1 1.
All right. Yeah, so you follow these footsteps and you like peek into the kitchen, and you see sitting almost like at the counter on a little bar stool a little boy.
Oh, hello.
He doesn't seem to hear you.
I'm gonna look up. Is there any cutlery on the ceiling? Or any pans or anything of that nature?
You look up, you don't see anything on the ceiling.
Okay. I'll step in. Hello?
Make a roll for me, please.
We lost another one. And the others were 3 and a 5.
All right, switching back over to, let's go with Iris, since you are heading out to find Lizzie. You head out into the hallway. You see Lizzie kind of looking into the kitchen, and then she steps in.
Miss Williams, I'll chase after her.
Yeah, Lizzie, Iris comes up behind you. As soon as Iris, I would like for you to make a roll for me.
Okay. No successes, no failures.
As soon as Iris, like, pops into that doorway itself, the boy's gone.
You are,
Did you see him?
see who?
The boy. He was
No,
just here.
I only saw you.
He was on the bar stool.
Lizzie, this is incredible. You're tapping into your own abilities. This is marvelous. I've never had a friend who could see the other side. Oh, we'll practice together. I'll lead you through. I never had anyone to lead me through, and it was very, very scary to learn it as a child, but I can help you, and it's just brilliant.
He couldn't seem to hear me.
Sometimes they can't. Sometimes they're just stuck reliving things and going about daily life again and again and again, not really aware that they're, somewhere else. It's incredible. It's all right that he can't hear you. It happens. It's normal.
I suppose. Where's the madam?
I was going to ask you the same thing. I've had quite a hard time locating her, and the last time I went gallivanting throughout this house, she became exceptionally angry with me, and I would like to avoid that at all costs again.
That is wise.
There's also someone in the lounge. I don't know who it is. I don't know what it is, but it's someone in there, and I told them to stop scaring me. Oh, I forgot to tell you this part too. I asked who was here. I asked what they were. I asked them to stop scaring the piss out of us. And they said, we're in between, or something like that. They said something about being in between. They asked if we could hear them, and I said yes. And then they said, where are you, or who are you? I don't really remember what I asked. But then they said something about in between. Lizzie, this is incredible. No one's ever had full confirmation. I didn't have it written down, or no one heard it. Only I heard it. No one's going to believe me.
Well, if it makes you feel better, at least person will believe you. But I would really like to find the madam.
Of course, we'll go together, right? Just so she...
Yes. I absolutely should not allow you to wander about the house alone again.
You.
Yes. That is the appropriate
At some point, you'll tell me about growing up here.
Yes, so many stories.
Yeah, and Iris grabs her hands and squeezes and kind of gets close in excitement. I'm so excited. It's quite strange, but really, it is a gift, no matter what anyone says.
You do have more enthusiasm in 5 seconds than I have seen shown in this house in 15 years.
I think that's probably good, isn't it? Everyone's a bit stuffy around here.
Yes, okay.
Speaking of stuffy,
Wow. I think you'll note that it was pretentious, not stuffy. Thank you.
Is there
There's
really
a difference.
definition difference? Cara, can you send me a lexicon of what the difference is?
Merriam-Webster, stat.
yes. Evelyn, you have knocked on one of these doors. You hear it almost echo into the room on the other side. Silence follows.
She'll call down the hallway. Charles, this isn't funny anymore. I'd like to return to our charge and our guest. Where have you put me, if you please?
Go ahead and make a roll for me.
2 5s and a 1, friends.
Great.
It's not my house.
Now, Lizzie or Iris, make a roll for me. With a dice pool of 2.
Miss Williams, I believe it's down to you.
3 and a 4.
Okay. Evelyn, you are looking around. You call out and you wait. And there's no response. There's no answer. No door opens, but you can see the end of the hallway now. It doesn't go on forever. It doesn't even have that many doors. As you're actually looking around, there are 3 doors. 2 on one side, 1 on the other. It just looks like a normal hallway now, but you still don't recognize it.
I will go to the door that is only the single door on the wall and try to open it.
Go ahead and make a roll for me.
2 5s.
As you reach for the doorknob, you're realizing how unfamiliar it is. It's very shiny, new.
God damn it, Kerri. Okay. When you say new, I presume you mean modern, not like new
Correct.
or
Yeah.
great. Super, super fun. Love that for me. Um, I'll try. Oh God, I'll try the door closest to me on the other side then.
Make another roll, please.
It's a 4 and a 2.
You head over. That's just as modern, just as new, and locked as well.
Do I have my keys? Because I believe I got them back. I think, yeah, because Lizzie, we
I think
found them in the door, and I was like, "You're not getting these keys again."
Yeah, she took him back.
Yeah.
you do have the keys, yes.
Is there a keyhole that it would fit?
There is a keyhole. Do you try the keys?
Yeah, I'll
Make
try a key.
another roll for me.
4 and 2.
Whatever keys you will need for these doorknobs are much smaller than the ones that you have.
Cool. Well, there's one more door. So I guess we'll try that one.
All right, make another roll.
So 1 and a 6. So, you know,
Emotions about that roll right there.
I have feelings. This is fine.
So we do lose a die, but that is a success. So you tell me what happens when you open that door.
You know, I could go for the easy story and find the other two again, but I don't think that's very fun. So why do I do this to myself? Evelyn turns the knob and it opens easily. And it is for a moment familiar. That same tobacco smell, that same pine scent, that same everything of the husband that she'd followed into this room. And she's in the room where Iris found herself, but it's no longer covered in sheets. It's no longer dusty and packed away. It is full, uh, it is fully set up the way it was while he was still alive. There's a fire in the fireplace, and it is as warm and inviting as it ever was when he was still with her. But it is empty.
Make one more roll for me, Evelyn.
Oh boy. All right. That's a 5.
Okay. You stand in here for a moment. You're actually not entirely sure how much time passes as you're standing taking in this room. And then you hear not your husband's voice, but a voice just gently say, "You like it here?"
Behind me or like in the room?
In the room.
Her back stiffens and she her eyes flash across every hiding place, every nook and cranny that any children that have ever graced this house have ever found. And seeing nothing, she says, "It's the only home I've ever had."
And with that, we switch back over to Iris and Lizzie. Where are you looking?
The lounge, right? That's where we were going.
Well, I saw Lady Williams last close to it, but I don't think she'd be hiding in the curtains. We can check if you want to test out your new abilities and see if you can hear any of the voices in there, maybe. I'll follow your lead, honestly. I've done enough damage.
We can start to see if there is someone in the house, because again, Madame does not like people exploring the home without someone accompanying them.
Of course.
So I guess we should make sure no one's there. Yes, let's check in the lounge first
Of course.
and go from there. I, however, will leave the speaking to the spirits to you. It is not something I think that I would enjoy overly much.
Of course. That was silly of me to make any assumptions about your interest in that. Yes, I will. Spirits. Ms. Williams prefers not to interact, so any messages you have, you may direct through me. She it makes her quite uncomfortable, so please don't do it anymore to her.
Miss Faye, it's not that I think it's silly of you to think that I would want to. I do not possess your bravery on the matter.
You don't owe me an explanation or any such words. It's not bravery, it's... I've become very used to it. And there was a time in my life where I had very few people to talk to. And the spirits were kind of my only company. So it's not bravery, it's a need for connection, I suppose.
Iris, I would like for you to roll a d6, please. Are you serious? All good. So, what happens as you're having this conversation? You are standing in the doorway of the sitting room, looking at each other. You're facing each other, standing in this doorway. And you're not sure how long it's been there, but you both become aware of someone standing directly beside you. A sense just out of your peripheral vision. And that's the end of that scene.
As Evelyn stands looking for this voice, and her answer, if this is the only home she's ever known, rings out in the quiet, a memory begins to play in front of her, not unlike that little boy that Lizzie saw, of her and her husband in the early days of their marriage. As if she's standing in the middle of it, watching it happen.
I think the moment that Lizzie and Iris sense someone standing next to them, before they have a chance to fully turn to see who it is, it goes dark.
The clock on the mantelpiece that was previously broken, when it goes dark, begins to chime.
As it goes dark, and as the clock chimes, you swear you hear a breath, and you can feel it, and I'm just blowing down onto your faces. These things are true. The world is dark.
And we are
alive.
Let's start with Evelyn. What does this memory look like?
Despite Evelyn's current vibe, she and her husband were very much in love. It was a youthful, energetic, and infatuation. And so in this memory, we see him working on something at his desk. And she flounces in her skirts, her hair piled up with ringlets framing her face, and a tray of tea in her hands. And she sets it on the table, or on the desk, rather, and then sits on the desk just next to the papers that he's writing on. And he smiles, and there's no words that we can hear, but he pulls her into his lap and they share laughter and intimacy. And we see the look on her face is at once wistful and heartbroken. And we wonder, perhaps, if the home she was referring to is not the house.
Ouch. Go ahead and make a roll for me, please.
Roll for heartbreak.
You.
That's a 1, a 4, and a 6. So we lost 1, but we got 1 success.
Amazing. So with that success, I'm not going to interrupt this memory. How long do you sit there?
Evelyn watches this play out. I think there's a moment where maybe she's watched it through 1 or 2 times. There's always a very tasteful fade to black, if you will. Because she's a lady, first and foremost. And there comes a moment where she almost shakes herself out of it, realizing that this is futile and pointless and is only breaking her heart more and more. And she goes over to the desk where she knows he keeps a, what's it called? A letter opener. And pulls it out and just holds it. And she says, "Where are Elizabeth and Iris, if you please? I must return to them. They will be concerned."
Go ahead and make a roll for me.
That was another 1, another 6, and another 4. I don't know what is happening.
So I will let you describe how the scene plays out, but you do hear, the only response that you hear is, again, echoey, distant, muffled, but you hear, "Let go."
She grips the letter opener and she says, "I have been caretaker of this house and of this family for too many years to let some disembodied, whatever you are, take away my home. So you will lead me back to them immediately, and I will let go of nothing."
And with that, we're going to switch over to Iris and Lizzie. You're in complete darkness and some figures breathing onto your faces. What would you like to do?
Miss Faye?
It's all right. It's all right.
Actually, you know what? I need a roll from each of you
Shit. God damn it.
before you begin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dice is 4 right now.
4.
Right? Yeah.
Chrissy, you go first.
Oh, we're...
Mostly because I'm afraid I'll ruin things.
That was a bad idea.
Oh?
We have 3 dice now.
Cool. All right. All is well?
We are alive, it's fine.
We got 1 success. We're good. We're alive.
All right, so understandably so. I think Iris is a little more, a little less freaked out than Lizzie at this point. But now, carry on. Take it away.
I've asked you to stop this, and I'm gonna try and pull Lizzie behind me. So that she's got distance on whatever it is, and I'm gonna turn and like physically put myself between her and it and look at it, whatever it
Okay.
is.
I'm gonna say with Lizzie's fail and with Iris's success, Iris, you are able to push Lizzie behind you. Lizzie, you feel Iris grab onto you, but you feel a few more hands than you should.
Oh dear. Miss Vey?
You're right, you're right. Just hold on to me, just hold on to me, focus on my hand.
Can you ask them not to touch me? I don't like strangers touching me, especially not dead ones.
One
You
hand
can
moves
hear
onto
her yourself. Stop it.
I need a roll from one of you.
I'm gonna let you do that.
All right, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Your dice and then no at the same time.
One success.
Ah!
All right, so conviction in your voice. Something about it, almost like the room doesn't shake, but there's this rumble to it. And Lizzie, the only person touching you now is Iris.
You have quite a way with them. They listen to you.
Well, not always. This was just a very good luck and lots of practice. It's fine. You can hear what she said. I'm not telling you again. Just to like put it in there. And then I'm gonna like keep a hold on her and look at whatever was right next to us.
It's still dark.
Shit. All right. I'm gonna put my hand out and just try and touch whatever's there.
Make a roll for me, please.
As I'm doing it, I say, I'm reaching out to touch you. You are not allowed to harm me or Ms. Williams. That's about it. I just want to know what you are since you're not talking. Well, we lost one. Yeah, it checks. It checks.
Amazing. So you're reaching out and you're not feeling anything. You're not feeling anything. And then your hand touches something. It almost feels like it it feels like warm, wet bear skin.
Oh, right. Thank you, I suppose. Are you in need of help? The storm is very strong.
You hear a slap of a footstep stepping closer to you.
You don't need to come any closer. There's no need for it.
There's another one. Slap.
Lizzie, we should walk away right now. They're not listening, and there's someone here. It's not the spirits. It's someone here.
Just walk.
Just walk backwards.
Okay.
Somewhere else. Keep holding my hand, please.
Yes, of course.
I need a roll from both of you.
You lose one. All right, that's fine. I will use my Logan dice. That's not a failure, but it's not a success.
Incredible. So, as you're backing up, you hear slap. 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 Moving faster, almost trying to keep up with you as you are backing up. There's a moment where you want to move, you want to go somewhere else, but you're afraid to keep your attention off of where this noise is coming from. You're backing up. Lizzie, you back up and you hit the wall, and the moment you do, the whole room is bright. There's nothing standing in front of you.
Hate you.
Whole room is bright. You look up and you see what the players will understand as just a chandelier lit with bulbs.
Were there previously chandeliers in this house?
Yes, but not like that.
those little balls of light? What is that? Is it? Could it be the spirits? Do you think it's spirits? Little balls of energy, spirits. Yes, that maybe.
This sounds quite morose. Just being trapped there?
That is, yes, you're right. I don't want it to be that anymore. You're right. Where's that person?
I need a roll from both of you.
I went first last time.
Might as well
Alright,
roll
it's
at the
me.
same time. It's just one die.
That's true. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Alright, we're still good.
Okay, but both of those together made 6. So can we
That's
just
true.
call it a
Can
success?
we call it a 6?
Nope. But as you're looking around, you are gradually, the rug on the floor is not right. It's different.
Wait, where are we? We backed out of the sitting room, so we should. Where would we be if we just back? Where in the house are we exactly?
And at that, we're gonna switch back over to Evelyn.
Hi.
Hi. What's going on with Evelyn?
Well, she has just requested that whatever it is, let her go back to Lizzie and Iris, so I presume that it's doing that because nobody fucks around with Evelyn in her own goddamn house. You know, the usual.
So I think, much like what just happened with the previous characters, you see the hallway that you came from light up from a bulb up on the ceiling. Very, very bright. It's not quite white paint, but it's white enough to where the hallway looks way too bright. And you see one of the doors that was previously locked just crack open, just a little bit.
Evelyn, assuming that her order has been received and acknowledged, says, "Thank you." And then she walks straight across, not looking at the light bulb, not processing the fact that it's white, not this. And she walks in assuming that she's going to see Lizzie and Iris.
All right, roll that one die and let's see what happens.
Yeah. It's gonna be a 6. It's my goddamn house. Bam. Where'd it go? Oh god. No, it's a 3. It's not a 1. It's fine.
You walk over to the door, and as you are reaching to open it up, it slams shut right in front of you. And you hear
When she hears the laughter, her hand kind of starts back a little bit. And she looks up down the hallway and says, "I don't appreciate playing games, little one. If you would be so kind to open the door."
as you say that, you swear out of the corner of your eye. You would have seen if someone was running from one end of the hallway to the other, but you'll only see it out of the corner of your eye, just going behind you, 2 footsteps of like a little boy.
Oh, goodness. I appreciate that it must be terribly lonely without a playmate, but I am not it. I must get back to Lizzie and Iris, and you will open this door immediately.
Go ahead and make a roll for me.
That's a 6.
All right, so you hear almost fainter, as if it's a little further away, but as you hear the doorknob like jiggling as it's being turned and opened, "Scared me." And it just opens up.
You know, I get that a lot, little one. I didn't mean to. And she pauses with her hand on the doorknob a moment and then steps inside.
Okay, I need one roll from each of you, please.
it is.
Evelyn, as you walk through the door, you step out onto the top of a staircase. It's bright out here too, and the railing of the staircase doesn't look the same. Looks like it's been replaced.
Much like The Office, a memory plays out for Evelyn, but this time it is the death of her husband as he fell down the stairs.
As Lizzie and Iris stand together, they hear whispering.
There are 3 wet, bare footprints on the ground.
All of these things are true. The world is dark.
We are alive.
Lizzie and Iris, you are hearing she didn't mean to, she didn't mean to, she didn't mean to, she didn't mean to, over and over and over again. You hear a door open, you glance up, and Evelyn is coming out of one of the doors on top of the staircase, which is really easy to see right now because this chandelier lights up so much of this house. Evelyn, what do they see as you're coming out?
Evelyn has gone ghostly pale. Her usually placid, calm exterior is pinched and afraid, and there's you can see her eyes watching something fall down the stairs, but you don't see anything. But she keeps going from the bottom of the stairs and then back to the top, and then watching something fall over and over and over again.
Evelyn, I need a roll from you, please.
Yep. 3 and a 2.
You hear softly, but you're in a big enough space that it kind of echoes a little bit. You hear, "Why did you kill him?" She didn't mean to, she didn't mean to, she didn't mean to, she didn't mean to.
You didn't mean to what?
Madam!
Elizabeth. And she kind of shakes herself off and looks down at you and then back at the floor and then back at you again. I've been looking for you. And she'll make her way down the stairs. And at points she almost sidesteps as if something's in her way. But she makes it back to the bottom of the stairs.
We were concerned about you. You disappeared.
Yes. It Very
You're
nice.
all right. You look ill.
It's been This is still my house. This is still our home. And nothing is going to change that. She says, in the direction of the stairs.
Evelyn, make a roll for me, please.
No, didn't lose any, but no success.
You swear you hear. It's not even like you're hearing it as a voice. You're hearing an implication. It's just out. Get out. Out.
She shakes her head at words you all cannot hear. No.
This doesn't look like our home.
Where else would we be, Elizabeth?
Oh, but
It would take quite doing to have all of this changed in the middle of a storm. While we were here and not hear it, Are we just dreadfully unobservant, or has something happened?
As all of
Yep.
you are looking around, it still looks structurally like your home. Things are replaced, things are newer, more modern. But it still looks like the bones of your home.
What else could it possibly be than perhaps some shared delusion, or... She touches the walls. These are the bones of my home. I have walked these hallways more times than the years you have been alive. Again and again and again. And this is mine. Do you understand? I could recognize it in my sleep.
Of course. I didn't mean to say... Truly, I don't know what I meant to say, because everything here is quite terrible. It's, not your home. Your home's beautiful. The bones are lovely and delicious and whatever else you would like me to say about the bones of your home. I have never been anywhere that I understood less. And just because something new is put on bones doesn't mean the bones are different or the... This isn't your house. This is very different. And I don't like the implication that we're all just insane. I've been told I'm insane for a long time, and this is strange. You can't just pretend like it's nothing.
Of course, it's strange. But losing our heads is not going to help us solve the problem, is it, Ms. Vey?
Well, pretending nothing's wrong isn't going to either.
And arguing about it isn't either.
Quite right.
Of course.
I would like a roll from each of you, please.
It was a 1 and a 6.
No losses, but no successes.
Same. No losses, no successes.
So, all of you hear it. You all just hear a faint, again, a voice kind of echoing off the walls here. The voice says, "Are you still here?"
Who is that?
Evelyn shouts. Of course we're still bloody here. This is my house. And we're not leaving. So you might as well just put us back wherever we're supposed to be, because this is not it. This is hideous.
Spirits, I get the understanding that everyone here can hear you now, and that's incredible. But respecting the wishes of the person who lives in this home is important. So, listen to her. I think Iris is trying to, like, catch on that, like, latch of power that they had before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the same. They're like she's trying to kick up an authority she doesn't feel like she has.
Do you want to make another roll for me?
Yeah, okay.
Do they want to? No. Will they do it anyway? Sure.
So, good news first, we got 2 successes. Bad news, we lost a die.
With those 2 successes, you don't hear conviction in the voice that responds to you. In fact, you're pretty sure the voice that responds to you is the child. You hear, "Not yours."
I'm quite aware this isn't my home, but on behalf of the people who live here and who spend their time here, I don't know why I'm trying to talk to this house. This house fucking hates me. Apologies. I'm trying to keep it very fancy and highbrow for you, ladies of the earth. Maybe I should be quiet from now on.
I think we're past the point of highbrow.
How about to Lady Rose?
Evelyn looks at Iris with daggers, and then to Lizzie and says, I raised you better than to think that in a moment of strife you should lose yourself to chaos.
Madam, it's kind of hard not to lose myself to chaos when we're literally surrounded by it.
Seems like Lizzie does have a backbone. That's good.
And you, speaking of backbone, are allowing the spirits to kick us out of our home.
I'm not
How
allowing
about you
them to...
get that spine back?
I'm trying. Nothing in this house responds to me well. Did I tell you? Did I tell you what I felt earlier? Naked, wet, warm skin. I was protecting you from something I couldn't see, couldn't understand. And it was human. You were talking about backbone. You won't talk to things you can't even see.
Well, that sounds very absurd. And honestly quite obscene. And I am sorry for the stress. However, if it is the spirit of a young boy like I saw earlier, then surely you can use a stern manner and get them to listen.
You think a small child was face level with me? I don't think that's the only thing in here.
If it's oh.
Child, hello. I understand this isn't my home. I understand you are confused as we are. I am the only one who will deign to speak to you. And I think you're quite confused. This home is not yours anymore. It's certainly not mine, but the people who live here don't like your behavior. And if you'd like to keep coexisting, you need to change that behavior, or we will find someone who will lead you away. I understand this is scary and confusing. Please stop.
Go ahead and make another roll for me, please.
Not a great time to say that we lost two.
2?
Jesus.
Incredible. Telling this little boy that you are gonna find someone to help take him away upsets him greatly. You hear, like, screaming, almost like a fit being thrown. You hear screaming and you hear stomping, and you hear the stomping rush away from you and thud all the way up the stairs. And you see, as it goes up the stairs, a door opens and then slams shut.
Wonderful job, Miss Bay.
At least he's not... That was the wrong thing to say, clearly. And Iris is going to start walking up the stairs toward the room.
Evelyn will look over at Lizzie and say, well, I suppose we best follow her. Can't have her wandering around by herself.
No. No, and whatever she's going to face upstairs, I don't think it's good for her to face alone. I'm sorry, madam. It has been an interesting past few hours.
Why? But Lizzie,
Yes,
if you
ma'am.
ever speak to me like that again, you will be out of this house. Do you understand?
I mean you no offense, madam. But I'm not sure you still have the authority to kick anyone out of this particular home at this point. However, I will remember that if we ever make it back to our home.
I don't think Evelyn is ever speechless. But she just stands there like, what?
I'm sorry, madam. This is not our home. This is not the home that you raised me in. I don't know who owns this house, but it is not our home.
At this point, I would like for Evelyn and Lizzie to make a roll, please.
With the one remaining dice. That is a 4.
I got a 6.
It's Lizzie's home now.
There is a strange power shift. So, Iris, you're heading to the room that this boy went into.
Yeah,
I would like for you to make a roll, please.
for sure, for sure, for sure.
I love it when you roll. It's my favorite. This scene ends as Iris grabs onto the doorknob to open the door, and this is where we'll state our truths.
As Evelyn turns towards the stairs, or waits for Lizzie perhaps to go up the stairs, she feels a strong grip on the back of her forearm that is familiar.
As Lizzie begins to go up the stairs, she sees kind of like a phase shift between the two homes. It starts flashing back and forth across her eyes as the old house, the current house, old house, current house. And she feels a little bit of shaking as she starts to climb the stairs.
As Iris closes her hand around the door handle, she can feel cold air blowing through the keyhole.
Iris also hears soft music coming from inside of the room. It almost sounds like a music box. These things are true. The world is dark.
And
we
we
are
are live.
I need a roll from each of you, please.
5.
No ones on the first roll. I think that's the first time that's happened.
Good job, team. I think Iris goes to open the door and then pauses and remembers, like, their childhood and feeling alone so much. And instead of turning the door and going in, she just knocks on the door. I've said some awful things to you today. I don't know you. But I bet being in this house when no one can see you, you're very lonely. And then the first people who do talk to you are awful. That's not right. That's not fair. I'm so sorry. Can I come in?
I would like a roll from you, please, Iris.
1 success.
Okay. You hear, almost as if they've stepped up to the keyhole. You hear, "Are you lonely?"
Oh yes, darling. Dreadfully so. That's not the way people are meant to live. Or die, I suppose. But that's all right. I've got friends like you. You know, I've heard voices all my life and spirits, and well, no one's really liked that thing about me, but maybe that will change.
Will you? And then it kind of fades out for a moment. And almost like slowly fades back in.
Will you play with me?
Yes. Can you forgive me for the terrible things I said?
The door opens.
Take that as a yes. And I'll walk in.
As Iris heads inside, the camera kind of moves over towards the bottom of the stairs where we see Lizzie. As you're kind of moving up the stairs, you start seeing flashes. It's almost every footstep. You see this modern house, and then it flashes back. You see the rug you know that lines all the way up the stairs. You see the railing you know. You hear the creak on that one step, but when it shifts back over, it's not creaking anymore. Go ahead and make a roll for me.
Didn't lose any, but there were no sixes either.
You make it to the top of the staircase, and you're in darkness. You're in your home. As you glance back and turn around, you don't see Evelyn at the bottom of the stairs.
Oh. Oh dear. Hello? I'm going to walk in the general direction of my room, what I'm familiar with. The same hallway that I have taken so many times.
Okay. Go ahead and make another roll for me.
We have lost one, and then my other dice was a 3.
Okay, you begin walking. Evelyn, you are grabbed by the arm, a strong grip. But you hear again the words, "Let go."
I don't know what you expect me to be letting go of.
You know you don't see anyone there, even with your peripheral vision. Like, you feel the hand, but you don't see anyone standing there. And then in the same tone, in the same manner, in the same way, instead of "let go," you hear, "Come with me."
She just turns and follows.
Okay. You are being led up the stairs. Iris, you've stepped into this kid's room. As you step in, the door slowly just closes and latches behind you. You see this is a kid's room. This room used to be Evelyn's husband's office. Now, it's completely redecorated. You see the wallpaper's removed, the walls have been painted. There's a small rug on the floor, there's a small bed, a toy box.
Done a bit of redecorating. Lovely.
You hear again kind of fading in, "My room."
It's very nice. I like your room. What are your favorite toys? What do you like to play with? Or books?
You see a small, like, bookshelf off in the corner, and you're not seeing the boy, but you see the books kind of like tip over a little bit, almost like fall, as if like a hand was being run along them to then kind of force them over. And then you see some stuffed animal kind of be pushed off of the bookshelf and fall onto the bed. And then you almost see like an impression, as if someone was sitting on the bed.
I'll go over and kneel down in front of where the sitting impression is. And I'll pick up the little stuffed animal. This is lovely. What's its name? Who's this?
Make a roll for me.
2 successes, but I lost one.
There's a small pause, and then you, instead of hearing like a response to that, instead of hearing a name, you hear, "What's your name?"
Oh, I thought I've told you. I'm so sorry. I'm Iris. What's your name?
Trevor!
Trevor, hello. All right, Trevor, I need to have this conversation with you face to face again because I do want to apologize for how I reacted earlier. I think we're all a bit frightened. We're all a bit on edge, and the way I talked to you wasn't right, so I'm sorry. Do you know if anyone else is here besides Lady Williams and Ms. Williams and myself? Have you seen anyone else, Trevor?
Go ahead and make another roll for me, please.
Last one, and no successes.
There's a shift. You definitely feel like an energy shift. It's less happy and it gets a little bit darker and almost further away. But you get damn near a full sentence. Dad doesn't like it when I talk to you.
Oh. Well, I'm sure I can speak to him, let him know that I mean no harm and you're in safe hands. Although you're a child and I'm an adult speaking to a child, that's a bit strange. Maybe I shouldn't. No, you're a ghost. Well, no. Trevor, how long have you been here?
At this point, you hear, and Lizzie, you also hear footsteps coming up the stairs. They sound heavy. And Lizzie, you're walking to your room, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You open the door. This is familiar. You know this place. But you hear the footsteps coming up the stairs, and you turn around and you don't see anyone. But it's loud. It creaks on that one step. But you're standing in your doorway, and you see your room before you.
I'm going to step into my room and slowly kind of close the door. I won't close it all the way. I'll leave it slightly cracked because I don't want the clicking sound.
Okay. Yeah, you head in and you do so. Evelyn, you are brought up to the top of the stairs, and you're not sure when you realized it, whether it was the second to the top, or maybe just when you got to the top itself. The grip on your arm is no longer familiar.
She glances over to see what or who is holding her.
Go ahead and make a roll for me.
What? That's a 2.
Damn it.
I know.
As you look over, you don't see anyone, not clearly anyway. It's almost like you see the outline of a figure, the shadow of a figure, but standing there, dark, and not just visually.
Do I know you?
The figure leans forward just a little bit. And at this point, Lizzie, you hear your bed creaking as if someone is getting out of it. And Iris, you hear the doorknob turn, and you hear the voice say, "Dad's here." And I need a roll from all of you, please.
What if I didn't? What if I didn't?
What'd everybody get?
As the door opens, Iris feels a hand grab the back of her bun.
As Lizzie hears someone climbing out of the bed, as she turns to look, she also hears the door shutting behind her.
As Evelyn tries to focus on the figure in front of her, she feels them push.
These things are true. The world is dark.
And we are
alive.
Question mark?
For how much longer, we don't know.
Not much.
All right. I would like a roll from each of you, please.
Fuck you. This.
5 or 4.
3.
Nice. I mean, all fails, but you didn't lose any dice, so there you go. So all at once, Lizzie, the door closes behind you. It hits your back, and as it does so, chills go all the way down your body. Iris, the door is ripped open, and you feel, before you can even turn around and look, a hand grabbing onto your bun, pulling you backwards. You are ripped from the room. Evelyn, you feel a shove, and you begin tumbling down the stairs. Lizzie, what is your reaction?
Within the fight, flight, or freeze, currently in her state, since it's dark and she's unfamiliar with what's happening, we're gonna go with she freezes and just looks towards the bed to see who's climbing out of it.
Yeah, you hear 2 feet hit the floor. The heels, like they walk heavy on their heels. You take a step. Another step. There are no lights in this room. But you can see... You think the storm is gone. A little bit of moonlight is coming through your window. Another step. Another step. You see the silhouette of a figure, a woman. You see long, curly hair. Another step. She's standing right in front of you now. You hear her breathing. And she leans forward just a little bit. Get out of my house.
This is my room.
Go ahead and make a roll for me, please.
A 5 and a 2.
Your voice doesn't come out quite as strong as you want it to. It's a little shaky. Your throat is tight. Everything, your chest is tight, and you're just frozen there. Iris, I would like for you to make another roll for me, please.
All right. We lost 1. And no successes. So bad things are gonna happen.
All right, so you are pulled, ripped from this room. Before you can react, you feel yourself being slung. Your hip slams into the stair railing and you go over it.
Can I
Evelyn,
try and catch it? Can I try and catch the railing?
I'll give you one more roll.
Nope, I don't. I go tumbling.
We see Iris's hand reach and just barely touch the railing. And Iris... Evelyn, you are tumbling down the stairs. Do you try to stop this?
No, I just protect my head.
Okay, go ahead and make a roll. Oh, we're at 2.
Face down. Nope. No success, no failure.
Okay. Tumbling down, your elbows are slamming, your knees are slamming into things. Your head does kind of bump into the wall a few times. You are just tumbling down these stairs. Lizzie.
Yes.
You blink, and the woman's not in front of you anymore, but you also don't recognize your room.
Well, she got me out of her house. Is there light? Can I see?
There is light. It's very bright in here, but at this point you hear Iris shout and you hear something tumbling down the stairs.
I'm going to turn around and jerk open the door and run towards the staircase.
As you do so, you're running to the staircase. I need you to make a roll for me, please.
Ooh. 2 and a 4.
All right, you're rushing over. You see a figure move into the room that you know as Mr. Williams' office. Moves into that room, the door slams, but your attention's brought to that only for a moment because then you hear the thud of Iris landing. And you go over to the railing, look over. You heard something fall. You heard tumbling. You see Evelyn and Iris both on the first floor. Iris has been thrown from the top of the stairs, and Evelyn has fallen down the stairs. Neither of them are moving.
Madam? Miss Faye? I'm gonna start to try to run down the stairs to see them.
As you are doing so, you hear coming from the door that slammed, you hear like a man's voice shout, "Enough!" But you're sprinting down. You're running down the stairs. You make it to the bottom. You make it to Evelyn.
Madam?
I need a roll from Lizzie and from Evelyn.
5 and a 4.
4 and a 2.
Okay. Lizzie. Evelyn's not moving.
Matt? I'm going to, like, lightly shake her, smack her face a little bit, and then look repulsed at the idea of smacking her face, but still nothing.
Nothing.
I'm gonna run over to Miss Faye. Miss Faye?
I need a roll from Iris and Lizzie. You walk over and there's already blood pooled around Iris.
I'm gonna turn around and look up the stairs.
Make a roll for me, please. With 1.
That's a 4.
Alright, you look up the stairs. It's too damn bright in here. But you don't see anyone.
I'm gonna go up them.
This is the part of the movie where the music shifts, and we see an angry Lizzie stomping up the stairs, heading all the way up. You reach the top of the stairs. What would you like to do?
I'm going to the room that I think I heard the man's voice from.
Are you opening it?
Yes.
I would like a roll, please.
That was a 6.
Okay. Tell me what you see when you open this door.
I think that she sees the office as she knew it growing up. Although she didn't see it very often. She was a clumsy child and was not allowed in it very often. But she slams open the door screaming, "How could you?" And then stopping mid-sentence as she sees a silhouette sitting in the chair.
I think you see the chair it's not the office chair, it's the chair in the corner, it's the rocking chair, because obviously. And it's just rocking very slowly, very casually. And you hear it lean forward and stay, as if the person is leaning forward. And you hear, "What would you do if you were all alone?"
I am now.
Go ahead and make a roll for me, please.
That's another 6.
Okay. So you say this, and you almost expect to be filled with some sort of fear or helplessness. But you surprise yourself. What do you feel instead?
Indignation, a little rage, but also a little reconciliation with acceptance of death.
There is this not quite calm, but as calm as you've been tonight. There's this calm that washes over you. And then you didn't even blink. You're not even sure what made the difference. But you find the three of you are standing in the sitting room. Iris is standing by the fireplace. Evelyn and Lizzie are standing more in the center of the room. And the rain is slamming into the window. I would like a roll from all of you, please.
Thanks.
It's your house.
My fucking house. Knew it.
The scene is yours.
Do I remember falling down the stairs?
You do not.
Or being pushed?
You do not
Cool.
remember, and Iris, you don't remember being ripped out of the room.
How far back do we remember? I guess what's the last thing we actually remember?
You remember heading up the stairs, but then it's like once you reached the top of the stairs, you were in here instead.
Evelyn kind of looks around, startled, and says, "Well, I'm glad they finally listened, whoever they are. Perhaps we barricade ourselves in here as we were intending to before, and,
Lizzie
hold up
interrupts her by tackling her with a hug.
Oh,
Something
my.
she has not done for many years since she was
Yeah.
an actual child.
Goodness, there, dear.
You were dead.
I,
You were dead. You both were dead.
it's quite all right, Elizabeth. We're fine. Perhaps you've been seeing strange things in this house tonight. Perhaps it was just a trick of the light or something.
Lizzie, I would like another roll from you, please.
It's a 6.
Damn!
Your houses.
So with that, no, you know what you saw. You know what you felt.
You were dead. You both were dead. Something threw you over the rail and down the stairs. You both were dead. I know it. And then I spoke to someone. There's
who are
someone. I don't know. They're alone here and they're angry about it.
It must be that child. Being a child alone in a big home where no one can hear you, that must be awful. It must be him. He must... Maybe he didn't mean to. Maybe it was an accident.
Did it sound like a child?
Who, the one you talked to in your bedroom?
No, in the office.
Oh, no, that was an adult. And at this point, the window opens almost aggressively and rains, like storm and wind just starts pouring into the room.
Oh,
Evelyn heads over to try to shut them.
I would like a roll from you, please.
4.
God damn it! What is none of your guys' dice want this game to end. As you head over, you grab onto it and you feel this chill, something more than the wind and more than the rain and more than the storm. It's something else, and it just chills you to the bone. But you slam the window shut. The floor is wet now with the storm, but it's closed.
She looks down at her black dress and out the window. and wants to see if she can see the gardens.
Make another roll for me, please.
Hey, that's a 1.
Hey, there we go.
There it is.
As you're looking out, you can't see past the storm. It's thick. But we'll say you're still kind of staring out that window. Let's do another round of truths. This will be your last round of truths.
As Evelyn sees the lightning flash, she sees a figure. Not a person. A car.
As Evelyn is over by the window, Lizzie can hear the creaking, distant creaking of a rocking chair on a floor above her.
Iris reaches back after being told she was dead to kind of touch bits of her body, and her hand comes away wet.
These things are true. The world is dark.
And
We are alive.
It's getting so much more questionable every time. We're like, maybe we are, who knows?
Evelyn, you see a car pulling into the driveway. It's a modern vehicle. And you see it stop, and you hear the car doors as people are beginning to get out of it. You see they're shrouded by the rain and the storm, but you see figures walking up to your house.
Puts a hand on the window to try to lean closer, and then turns towards the front door waiting for the chime.
Lizzie, that creaking is far louder than it should be. It almost sounds like it's in your ear. You hear just the creak of it rocking back and forth and back and forth. And it's only when you look down from kind of looking up at where you expect the sound to be coming from, you look down and you see the rocking chair has been moved into the sitting room. And it's sitting there, and it is just rocking back and forth.
I'm gonna go over and use my hand to still it.
Okay. Iris, you feel wet. You pull your hand away, and there's crimson on your skin.
Oh, that's quite awful. Maybe you were right, Ms. Williams. That's... I was going to talk to the child. I was supposed to talk to the little boy. She looks like she's intending to move out of the room and go talk to the child, but the actual blood on her hands is a bit paralyzing. Little boy, I'm sorry for what I said. Please come talk to me here in the light.
First, I would like a roll from Evelyn.
That is a success.
Okay. I would like a roll from Lizzie.
My yes, your dice has failed me.
And with one die, I would like a roll from Iris.
I quit. Hey, gang? Hey, gang.
Evelyn, you're waiting for that familiar sound, but it doesn't come. Instead, the front door opens, You swear you locked it. But it opens. And then you finally see them clearly. But you don't see anyone enter. You're all standing, staring at the entryway, and then you hear them behind you. All of you, the three of you, turn around, and you see 4 figures sitting at a table, holding each other's hands around the table. There are candles in the center. One of them says, "Please, if you can hear us, why haven't you passed on? What is keeping you here? What is keeping you in this house?" One of them looks to the other. "I don't think they even know they're dead." You hear footsteps. The little boy, you see him sprinting down the stairs. Once he gets to that last 3, he hops, lands, runs into the room, runs through you, Iris. Approaches the woman that you saw in the bedroom, Lizzie. Hops up on her lap and says, "When are you going to be done?" And she hushes him. She says, "Soon, soon." And then she covers his ears, although you see he's like fighting. He's probably heard plenty at this point. And she says, "You were killed here in this home during a party, pushed from the balcony, the 3 of you. Do you remember?" And then there's another pause. One person there you haven't seen yet. But you know, as she looks up from the table and she makes eye contact with the 3 of you, that she can see you. She can see you just fine. And she says, she breaks eye contact with you and instead looks to the others, and they have like a cassette player. We've copied some of these tapes. Perhaps if we play some final thoughts, you can move on then. Francis, play the tapes. Let's give it a try.
I worked my entire life to ensure the family name was above reproach, that the household lived on in glory. And this is how it ends. I've seen things beyond the veil my whole life. And yet, on this side, no one seemed to care if I died. Maybe things will be better on the other side. I might be leaving this realm, but I am never leaving this house.
These things are true.
I want to say things, but I don't have anything to say.
Okay, what the hell was going on?
Bad things. I rolled 2 1s and then I was going upstairs. Was that you? Did you shut the door? I didn't shut the door. That's the wrong accent. Fuck. New accent. Who dis? Naked, wet, warm skin.
Well, that.
I was trying to protect you from something I couldn't see, but felt. Shit.
It's highly improper. Miss May.
I'm not trying to feel anyone up in your home. It would be much more fun if that were the party we were having. I've been to several of those and it's much better.
There are so many tears coming out of my so I'm here to laugh this much.
Oh.
I love that that's what broke us.
I mean, let's be honest, we've broken a lot this game.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, but usually, like, we're good. Like, we
Ah.
keep going. That was, we cannot keep going. We even
Ow.
tried.
Oh. Oh boy.
Oh.
But damn it, we just gotta keep going or I'm gonna keep laughing.
Mm-hmm. I was protecting you from something.